What's up, Steelers fans? I wanted to take a closer look at a couple plays from the Ravens game from this past weekend, specifically the goal line sequence. I know Ben talked about the third down interception on his podcast, and the second down play that I'm going to start with has also been screenshotted a lot on Twitter. And as you re-roll this play, they tend to stop it right about here and then put this image on Twitter saying, "Why? Look at this play design. Why would you run three guys to the middle of the field? How are you supposed to get open if you're all clumping together?" Well, I don't think I know. What they were trying to do here is a mesh concept, just having competing crossing routes coming across the middle of the field. Another word for that is the legal pick play. We've seen it every week. It's been oft talked about of late because of receivers not executing it properly. But all you're trying to do is get one of your receivers to bump into the defender responsible for the receiver coming from the other side to get this guy open. And this guy's not really trying to get open. He's just trying to run into that defender, but make it look like he's not trying to do that. That's the key to this play. That's the key to getting away with it. And in this case, they actually have two bumpers in both Washington and Fryermuth coming across they're trying to get Pickens open here, crossing from the right to the left. But because you see here, take a look at Washington first here. Off the line, he's contacted by one defender, forces him backwards. Now he gets to the second defender, but because he's had to go through two guys already, he's been forced backwards off his track, off the trajectory of where his route should have been ran at this point. So Fryermuth is supposed to be crossing through right where Washington's body at this point is right now. And he's seeing it. He knows he has nowhere to go. So what does he do? He looks back for the quarterback. At this point, this is a broken play for Fryermuth. And I'll get back to George running out of the back of the end zone in a second. But Fryermuth sees that it's a broken play. He looks back for the quarterback, sees him starting to leave the pocket to scramble. So he just tries to give him a target by going out there. But the obviously the rush gets there before Russ can get around it. He has to just throw this away. But now back to Pickens coming across from the right to the left. You see him, he has to get vertical around that first layer defender, and then he's coming straight into Hamilton's trajectory, again having to get more vertical than he plans on to get around him, forced out of the back of the end zone. And then take a look in the back of the end zone. This referee right here, he just tossed his hat on the ground. And what that means is because he stepped out of bounds and didn't come back in immediately, he's now an ineligible receiver. And it doesn't really matter because Wilson's already in the dirt. But Pickens, you see twice he had to get more deep than he was planning on running this route. So from the very beginning, forcing Washington back further than what he wanted to be and should have been, forced Fryermuth to have nowhere to go, had to improvise on that route, forced Pickens to try to go around and over top of it all, out of the back of the end zone. That's what blew up that play. It's not poor play design. If it had worked as it was supposed to work, one of those guys would have gotten rubbed off. Pickens would have been wide open in the back of the end zone, nobody near him. We all would have been singing the praises of the play design. So let's take a step back on this roller coaster ride with Arthur Smith that we're on, where one week they score 40 and we love him, the next week they score 18, all Chris Boswell points, and we can't stand the guy already. Jumping now to the third down play, take a look at Washington. He's down here, right here in the slot, big body slot. They're going to send him out, and at this point, he's going to do an out and up broken play. At this point, he's just improvising. There's no scripting that's going into this for Washington at this point because Wilson is running around, evading a rush. And let's see, at the point where this ball is thrown, I want you to look at this. This is where Washington's body is in the front of the end zone. The defender he's if you lay the ball anywhere out here, he's boxed out. He can't do anything about it. Washington has advantageous leverage in the front of the end zone right now. He's got his dude boxed out, and they're throwing it to the back of the end zone. And now what he would have to do to make a play on this ball, not only does Wilson throw this to the back of the end zone, he throws it to the opposite of the shoulder that he's leaning on. He throws it to the shoulder that the defender is covering right now. So he's throwing it literally right to the defender to jump on the. You see Washington, he gets as vertical as he can on this play because his momentum is leading him in the 180 degrees the wrong direction from where this ball is going. So Ben can say that, you should have jumped there, but he was leaning on his wrong foot. His momentum was going the wrong way. There's no way you could elevate fully on this play. And the placement doesn't do him any favors. It's perfect placement straight to the defender. Now, a lot of that probably sounded critical of Wilson, but I can't be too mad at him because look at the work he does on this play to just evade the rush, to just keep himself alive and get out, and then he's got a guy in his face. He's got to elevate it over the guy in his face. I'm sure right here. Look at this. He's got that guy right in his face. He has to get it over him. I guarantee you that trying to adjusting his trajectory to make sure that Hamilton couldn't, bat it down is what created that overthrow, that seemingly poorly placed ball. It was just a great late defensive rotation, a great adjustment. I think Steelers fans are kind of overreacting to these two plays, as far as taking them as evidence of deficits of our offense and not necessarily just great plays by a defense. And, those guys get paid too on both sides of the ball, which leads me to my closing point of, going up tonight against the Browns, a two-win team. Uh, just on paper, they have no business being on the same field with this 8-2 Steelers team. But just a little tiny word of caution is the teams with nothing left to play for can sometimes be the most dangerous because when you're still in it, if your back's up against the wall, you're still clinging to that last bit of hope. You still think, maybe what we're doing could work, maybe we could turn it around. Once hope's gone and you have nothing left to play for, everything you've put on tape, everything you've done so far this year just goes out the window, and you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall at this point to see what sticks. They're going to pull out all the stops, whether it's weirdness on special teams, fakes, trick plays, double pass backs, that kind of college football nonsense. Be prepared for weirdness tonight. It's the Wolves that already have a foot caught in a trap that can be the most vicious.